Carson has written 6 best-selling books published by Zondervan. Zondervan, it has quite the name, Truth Seeker. Zondervan, the small way is 47. Zondervan, the big way is 119. Remember, Star of David, the small way is 47. The big way, 119. Just like All Seeing Eye, these are numbers that correspond with the Zionists and the Masons who control so much. Politicians, hospitals, you name it. Ben Carson seems like a golden boy for them, spreading propaganda and lies ever so calmly. Another story from his past on August 7th, 8/7, kind of like the year 87, where he supposedly separated the twins. On August 7th, 2002, Carson underwent surgery for prostate cancer. In a 2004 speech at Manatech event, Carson credited the company's products for the disappearance of his prostate cancer. So in the debate, he said he had no connections to this company, but it turns out he's done commercials for them on TV and everything else. He also credits the removal of his prostate cancer to this company. I wonder if even this is a contrived story by the numbers. The date it happened on, a date with 37 numerology, just like Ben Carson and Pythagorean gematria. Prostate has the gematria of 33 and 42, a favorite number of the Masons. Prostate cancer has gematria of 59, just like the name Dr. Ben Carson. I mean, a lot of men get prostate cancer. It's possible he did get it. But again, I just wonder with these people's fake backgrounds. A story of prostate cancer might create sympathy in other men, would-be voters who have gone through the same thing. And why does everyone have this prostate cancer? Because they're trusting Western medicine, which lies and tells people to eat foods that are poisonous to them. So never trust a doctor, Truth Seeker. My brother-in-law's a doctor. He's 20 years older than me. My sister's 13 years older. He's 7 years older than her. Anyhow, when I was a teenager, I was a vegan, vegetarian. He was a doctor, medical doctor. Used to always make fun of me, say what my diet was a diet for faggots, feminine diet. Well, for the last 5 years, he has had to eat a vegan diet because of the health problems that have come on in his life. So for me, it's real ironic to have to watch this medical doctor, how he's had to change his diet and become more like me. I knew these things as a teenager, before even getting to college. Here he was, the medical doctor, making fun of my diet, which he now eats for health reasons. Western medicine is empty garbage. I haven't been to a doctor since I was 21 years old. I'm 32. In the 1990s, Carson, who had been registered as a Republican, changed his registration to independent after watching Republicans impeach President Clinton for perjury, obstruction, Anyway, he ended up rejoining the party last year, November 4th, 2014, election day for the 114th Congress, which was previously led by John Boehner, who even had name gematria of 114. That's how it is in the world run by numbers. Again, he announced he'd be president on a date with 44 numerology. This number 54 is very curious for Obama right now, who's 54. His Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Loretta Lynch equals 54. She's born in the year 59. Think about what a lynch is. A lynching. Something that has to do with death and racism in a big way. His wife, Lysina Candy Rustin, quite an interesting name in gematria. Lysina Rustin equals 47, just like the name Candy. These incredibly important numbers to the Masons and the Zionists. Remember, his book publishing company is 47. The name Ben Carson Sr. also equals 47. Reminds me of Bill Gates. Bill Gates equals 33. He was head of Microsoft for 33 years. Supposedly his wife is Melinda Gates, which equals 47. Microsoft is located on the 47th parallel. All signs of gang members that operate by this same numerical code. Ben Carson has all the numbers. He went to Yale. A lot stinks about this guy. He just seems like another deceiver. And, the people out there advocating for him are people like Armstrong Williams, who's another Uncle Tom. The name Armstrong and Williams both equal 44, fateful numbers. Armstrong Williams, born in the year 59 in Black History Month, the month that ends on the 59th day. I told all this to Armstrong Williams on his radio show. He let me have the floor for 10 minutes, and then at the end he just said, well, all this information, it's just going to depress people and cause them to tune out further. Oh, these people are pathetic. Don't be fooled, Truth Seeker. Until next time. Encore, Truth Seeker. I thought we would close with this CNN story asking who the real Ben Carson is. Let's follow up with this, and then I'll show you a few other things I meant to talk about. Here we go.
Captivated voter. Dr. Ben Carson, and this is my story. Poverty. Dr. Ben Carson has captivated voters with the story of his rise from an impoverished youth in Detroit to a famed pediatric neurosurgeon. And I picked up a large rock, hurled it at his face, broke his glasses, almost... Central to his appeal to the evangelical voters who have fueled his surge to the top tier of the presidential field is his account of a religious epiphany that changed him from a violent, angry young man to the composed figure who stands before voters today. Another time, a fellow was trying to close my locker at school. I didn't want to close. I struck him in the forehead with my fist. I would go after people with rocks and bricks and baseball bats and hammers. A version of the most serious attack is portrayed in a 2009 television movie based on his autobiography, Gifted Hands. Had it not been for a belt buckle under their clothing, they would have been killed or seriously injured. I feel I should move my chair.
That was not his demeanor around here.
CNN set out to find the classmates who Carson says were victims of the attacks, but so far has been unable to locate any of them. The Carson campaign declined to provide names of those involved or eyewitnesses, calling CNN's examination into Carson's past a witch hunt. CNN interviewed 9 of Carson's friends, neighbors, and classmates, and all say the violent, impulsive person Carson has described himself as is unrecognizable to them. A 10th person said he might have heard a rumor about the knife attack at the time, but couldn't be sure. All of those interviewed recalled Carson as quiet, bookish, and nerdy, a kid who wore thick glasses and a pocket protector for his pens.
He was just smart, a bookworm.
Yeah, with us, he was always calm, easy, a lot of fun, always.
Siblings Steve and Marie Choice grew up next door to the Carsons.
I was really surprised when I read he tried to stab someone. Like, what? You know.
You never saw like the police over here or anything?
No.
Does it fit with the guy who you knew? That kind of activity?
No.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was surprised because he was just, he was quiet and calm. But
you never saw any sort of violence or anger?
No, I did not. No, I did not. Very nice young man.
I did not witness those things. I don't have really any independent knowledge of those things.
Tim McDaniel is a former classmate and lifelong friend of Carson's. He says the behavior Carson describes on the stump is totally out of character with the academically driven young man he knew growing up.
As long as I had known Ben, I associated him with a lot of things, but never stooped into the level of a common street thug. So I was a little surprised by it.
Still, McDaniel says he believes his old friend and said Carson may have kept those incidents secret all those years out of embarrassment.
I think he tried to hide it for as long as he could until he realized that in order to really, really clear his conscience, that he had to make a confession. He said them honestly, and I believed everything he told me.
While all of the friends and classmates interviewed by CNN are perplexed by the stories of violence Mr. Carson describes, most of them still expressed admiration for him.
So there's the CNN story saying his past doesn't check out. At the same time, CNN is not a trustable news source either. That said, the evidence that Ben Carson's history is largely a fraud is in understanding this language of numerology and gematria and seeing how coded his entire past is. Also, something else I meant to point out about his children, we talked about how the oldest child has a 33 name. Notice the beginning letters for each child. M, the 13th letter. B, the 2nd. R, the 18th. 13 plus 2 is 15, plus 18 is 33. These Masonic men operate by this numerical code. It is often found coded into their children and wives, as it is here with Ben Carson. Some other coding in his story I meant to mention a second ago, this Manatech company that he said he didn't have any financial connections to. There's people out there saying he was paid $42,000 for being a spokesperson for them. Remember, 42 is one of these numbers negatively coded on black people. And him going out there and telling these lies about him used to being this violent man, that feeds in to the negative programming so many white people already have about black males. So many people who are not black have stereotyped the black male as being violent, dangerous. And here Ben Carson is out there running for president telling these stories about being this once violent person, which so many people seem to say didn't fit his character of the past at all. So, it's hard to know who to trust out there. What I know about this world is if it's on TV, it's probably a lie, it's probably deception. And from following the lies for so often, I've found out about this numerical coding. It shows up again and again, and if the numbers tell the truth here, they point to a major deception by the man that we call Ben Carson, the 64-year-old neurosurgeon who got his medical degree at Michigan. The current president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, I'm quite certain that's not his real name either. Another actor playing the part, deceiving America. I understood that long before I understood gematria. I told everybody back in 2008, Obama was a major fraud, a major deceiver, a major liar, very transparent, very easy to see through. So, that's pretty much the message here. Until next time, Truth Seeker.